It's picking up very good here, I think.
And just like for a prop though, just for the looks. What can we do? How do we make an intro? I mean, podcast intros, they don't really do anything. You just start, right?
Some people do.
Some logo.
Yeah, logo.
Or maybe we're not in it at all. And we just should. And this should be deep on
So we need to drink.
Yeah. Now we get the real drink. The drink.
Maka, Hannya, Haramita, Shingyo. Kanji Saibo Satso Jojin Hannya Haramita Ji Shoken Gohon Gaigu Doi Saigu Yagu Shari Shi Shigi Fuhi Gu Fuhi Shigi Sogo Seku Ku Sogo Se Shigyo Zogyo Shigi Yagu Bunyo Se Shari Shi Se Shoho Kuso Fu Sho Fu Mezzo Fu Gu Fu Yu Fu So Fu Gen Se Gu Lu Sho Mu Shigi Mo Yu So Yu Shigi Mo Gen Ni Bi Se Shin Ni Mo Shigi Sho Ko Mi So Go Mo Gen Kai Nai Shi Mo Hi Shigi Kai Mo Myo Yagu Mo Myo Yen Nai Shi Mo Ro Shi Yagu Mo Ro Shi Jin Mo Gu Shu Mezzo Do Mo Shi Yagu Mo Togu I Mo Sho Togu Gu Bu Dai Sa Ta He Hannya Haramita Ko Shin Mo Keige Mo Keige Ku Mo Hu Ku Fu On Ri Sai Tendo Mu So Ku Yone Han San De Shu Butsu E Hannya Haramita Ko Togu Ha Nogu Dara Samyaku Sambo Dairu Shi Hannya Haramita Se Dai Jin Shu Se Dai Myo Shu Se Mu Yo Shu Se Mu Do Do Shu No Yo Hi Sai Ku Shin Yutsu Fu Ku Ku Setsu Hannya Haramita Shu Sogu Setsu Shu Watsu Gyate Hara So Gyate Boji Sobaka Hannya Shingyo Shulyo Muhin Seigando Bonno Mushin Seigandan Homon Muryo Seigan Gaku Botsodo Mujo Seigan Jo Nenga Wagwagon no Gudogu Mote Amaniku Isai Nehoyobushi Warado Shuyo Tomina Tomoni Botsodo Yo Zen Kodo Shi san shi fu shi son bu sa mo gu sa mo gu ya hu ru mi.
It was amazing.
What is what's it about?
The essence is Shiki Soko Se Ku, Ku Soko Se Shiki. Shiki is form, the appearance, and Ku is emptiness, or the background, no? So form and emptiness, and it's combined by Soko Se, and that's a very vast meaning. So you can say form becomes emptiness, emptiness becomes form. Form is not different from emptiness, emptiness is not different from form. Form is in the middle of emptiness, emptiness is in the middle of form. Form is full of emptiness, emptiness is full of form. So like this idea of like yin and yang, no? That is completely melting into each other, but still you can identify which is which, but also is completely interwoven, and that creates everything that there is. No? Shiki Sokose Ku Sokose Shiki.
That's Tibetan?
It's from this was the Japanese version, and they took it from China. So it's like an old scriptural Chinese, a little bit like in India they have Sanskrit, no? Yeah. So they have in China a classical Chinese for the sutras. And then, of course, then the Chinese try to transcript it from Pali. It came from India, no? Yeah. And then they try to convert it into other language and a little bit try to preserve the original sound.
Nice. Wow. Form in the formless.
A little bit has this idea of non-duality. It is not two.
Right.
So it's not. Also, of course, it's better to say it's not two than to say all is one. It sounds like a soup without distinction, no? But when you say everything is not two, or even not three, whatever, so there are no limits. So it includes everything, no? I guess.
So what do you feel how... So the formlessness, right? But we're experiencing form in this kind of waking consciousness. How, you know... So where's the formlessness in this form? How can we experience that? Like...
You experience it in as a background of the form, no? To be able to perceive form. Form can only appear in emptiness.
Right.
If everything is already complete full, nothing can appear, no? Like if you imagine you have a room, a cubus, if it's full already, let's say with sand, nothing else can appear in it, no? But if you empty it out, it becomes empty, Then you can put a chair inside and a table, and persons can be there, no? So to have form, you have to have also emptiness, no? Because otherwise it's already too full. like in a painting, no? You have the white canvas in the beginning, and then you add slowly stuff, no? If you add too much stuff, if you add all the colors that there are in too much amount, it will be just black or brown, most likely brown, no?
Yeah.
There will be no distinction left. Like this, I found it nice to imagine it like this. How it is possible that we are whole and complete always. Ah, Muni, the cat is coming. Maybe somebody let her in. That everything is whole and complete, but still we feel like we experiencing a life, and no, sometimes there's too much, sometimes there's too less, no?
Her tail.
Like, if you mention the everything that there is, it's always there. Like in the old times when we had the movies on the CD, on the disc, no? Imagine all the pictures that the movie consists of are permanently there. They're encoded on the disc, no? And let's say in a movie you have, I think, like, let's say 24 frames per second, and the movie goes 1.5 hours. So it's so and so many seconds are 24 frames. I once calculated it. It's not so much. I think it was. I came to just 500,000 pictures. So 500,000 pictures create the movie. If you play them in the right order, no, in the right speed, the movie appears, no. So imagine now you play all the pictures in the same moment. You play this 500,000 pictures in the same moment on the screen. You wouldn't be able to have any distinction. No movie would be there, no?
Right.
You would have the whole incompleteness, but actually nothing would happening, no? So how the movie appears is, normally you would say, we play only one picture per moment, 24 pictures in 1 second, and then if they come in the right order, the movie appears, no? Also, if you play only one picture, but in the wrong order, it would be also just like chaos. You couldn't also not identify anything, right, no?
Yeah.
And now, to make it even more interesting, instead of telling to make the movie to appear, we play one picture per moment. Let's take like this. What we do actually, we leave 499,999 pictures unplayed. That's actually what we do. That is called ignorance. No? We don't see the rest. We only see this one picture. And if we then do it in an intelligent way, in the nice order, the movie of our life appears. No? And of course it goes automatically. No? That is our karma, our inherited way of reading the totality. No? Let the movie appear by always neglecting the whole incompleteness. No? We focus on one thing any moment.
So you feel like this movie of your life that you're living but also witnessing in a way. Do you feel it's already written, predetermined?
Sure.
It's
Everything
predetermined.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
That is all. Everything that could ever be experienced is permanently there. But of course, it is only experienced if there is somebody who experiences. No, so you have to, or you have this distinction between me and there is something else, and then and there are infinite ways. Let's say like there are infinite ways of being ignorant of the whole incompleteness. No, and through that, all the personal life streams, life movies appear. No, everybody is ignorant in his own private fashion. And if you get rid of the ignorance, everybody ends up in the same whole incompleteness. So there's only one whole incompleteness, or you can say one self, no? One consciousness, one awareness. But this one consciousness, this one awareness, has infinite ways of being ignorant of its origin and start to identify itself with limitations that it sees and forgets that it is actually the whole incompleteness, the seer and the scene and the background and the emptiness in which everything appears. No? So by forgetting all this, our personal life, a movie is created. And it's beautiful because there's infinite. Never imagine how many people have lived through the 100,000 millions of years, no? And for sure not one life was same or nearly, even more nearly like somebody else's life, no? Because there's infinite possibility of how we're experiencing this, no? Yeah. And after many experiences, you get a taste for that it's more nice to be in harmony than to be in disharmony, in disruption, right, no? Harmony means somehow the total, no? To promote the total feels in the end more nice than to be a disturbance to the total, right, no? I think that appears naturally, no? After many experiences, no? In the end.
Can you like break down this this concept more easily to understand? Because I kind of have a problem to get it, like the millions frames, and can you like use another form to explain it? Yeah, I don't get the concept.
Everything that is possible, on which level ever, no? On the most subtle, on mental level, emotional level, physical level, no? All the forms that are possible are always there, like in a matrix in a seed, no? Like the whole tree is in the seed. But depending on which ground the seed falls, no? Sometimes the tree becomes very big and lush. If he falls on the stony ground, it becomes more small, and if it's in a very windy place, no, it takes a funny shape, no? So depending on, the idea was to show that the totality is always total, and then depending on how consciousness is experiencing it, there are infinite varieties appear, no? But in the background, everything is always there.
So it's like my life. So if can you like imagine that all my life here, for example, it's this tree somewhere, and this specific life is just a branch of a tree somewhere. Is this what you mean?
That would be another way, maybe, to put it, no? Yeah. The same. All the branches are parts of the same tree. Genau. And if some branch inquires where do I come from, every branch they end up by the same roots, no? But okay, there might be again many roots.
But
Maybe they end up by some different root, but.
But this seems to be like the thing is that the branch or the tree or the nature, it doesn't inquire. It's like the nature is existing as whole and complete. It doesn't ask, but we do.
Yeah.
And now, is it because of this sentience, this self-reflection kind of thing? We ask
additional level of this.
Like, why do we even need to know? Nature is not.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because we're nature, but we're like a mobile, sentient version of a self-reflective aspect of nature.
Genau. We have this additional layer of this mental reflection possibility, no, that plants and animals don't have, and it can create also confusion.
Right, and that's why we're so at peace in nature, right? Because it's there's no doubt in nature. There's no question in nature. It is, you know.
Genau, I would say like this our additional layer of mental capabilities, no? It presents us an interpretation of that what is, no? It's like a interpreter in the background, no?
Right.
Who tells like, has learned some things and says, come on, look, that is a tree, this is this, and then some ideas are, this is useful for wood, you can make a furniture, you can have firewood, no? All this is there, no? All the time, no? So if you stop this, then you become more like nature itself. You just imagine you see everything. It's like would be like you see everything for the first time. Imagine you have no memory whatever, but you have your full sense capacity, no? And everything you hear and you see, it's the very first time. You have no idea. That means there will be no name, no? You cannot name a tree because all the names come from the past. you have learned in the past, no?
Yeah, I like this idea that everything is coming automatically. So, for example, the scientists, even their knowledge, it's coming automatically, and they read other books, and all of these people, it's kind of, I don't know, I have this kind of, that's what you say, like you already have this knowledge, or it's already here, it's already there in the nature, kind of. So I feel like kind of intuitively, I feel like it's all coming automatically, even in some higher forms, whatever, in lower forms, farmers or a president, or it's all kind of the same force pushing it out.
Yeah, we're all fishing in the same pond. So it comes. And with this interpreter, a nice thing to realize is you are before the interpretation, during the interpretation, and after the interpretation.
Yeah, because
So
what I
there's
feel like,
actually no problem.
what I feel, there is no judgment in it. If I feel like this, I don't want to judge some like politicians or some people who doing some wrong things, because it's kind of also coming from the same tree in a way. Yeah,
And many things happen automatically, like on autopilot, no? And even if it's very willfully, if you look where does this will come from, it also comes from somehow from the background, from autopilot. Even if somebody has a strong will and willfully want to do this or this, if you inquire, but where did this will come from, no? It not really came from a person, no? It just also just popped up, no? I made one little like a prosa thing to explain this. Your interpretation of reality becomes your reality. So make sure that your interpretation represents your reality. That means reality as you want it to be. If you want reality as it is, stop interpreting altogether. This is called the way of the very, very lazy, for whom even the raising of one eyebrow is too much an effort.
I totally get it. Because
Basically, I think he's saying just don't do shit. It's like, just like, you know.
But it's applying even to like music practice. When I play music, if I start to interpret, without interpretation, it's even more clear. The music is more clear without it.
Yeah, in Indian music, you see, if the music is very good, you see the musicians are not there anymore as persons. They're themselves enjoying so much, like what is coming out of them, no?
Right.
Especially the long rhythm circles, no? When they all meet in the right point, they're so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there's that feeling of the non-doer comes.
It flows.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
At first you're playing the guitar like, okay, I'm doing this, and then
Like
after some time it goes, that feeling, that sensation of I'm doing this goes away, like something.
Like in Zen, they have this saying for alcohol, for drinking, but it works also for arts, for example. So they say, for alcohol, they say, in drinking alcohol, there are 3 states. First state, man drinks alcohol. Second state, alcohol drinks alcohol. Third state, alcohol drinks man. It's better to stay state 1. So the same in the arts and music, no? First you play the music, then there comes a point where the music plays itself automatically, and then in the end the music totally transforms you. No?
Yeah.
Wow. No.
Right. And that's basically, what would you call that? Just like consciousness, intelligence, like what would you call, or God, like what would you call that force that's doing this thing? Like if you get out of that state of I'm the doer, and then you just watch, and it's happening, what is it? Is that intelligence? Is that God? Is that still you? Is that the self? Like, okay, so now you're not doing it, and you're a witness you're a witness onto the doing, but now, who's doing that? You know what I mean? Like,
all together. It's the dynamic of creation.
But it's not only happening in music. Sometimes you wake up and you're making your coffee, you listen to some mantras and you feel like everything is flowing. You feel like just so joy. But sometimes you wake up and you think about some shit, you know, and everything is feels like cranking. It's not only music. It's all life. Also have this kind of
yeah, they call it like the flow state or something, right?
yeah.
Like, or like some of these other.
I remember I was.
They call it the vortex. Like you're in the vortex.
When I was a young child, I was actually going to school, and some days I was just walking out of my room, and I just like going, and I just feeling like in a flow.
Because I feel that's the natural state of things, no? That flow state is the natural state. It's all these little thoughts that just take you out.
Also, when they say the synchronicity happens, and you don't have to plan.
Right.
Things just come in the right time. But even that, it needs a background of the bad days. Otherwise, you wouldn't realize how amazing it is. Well, that's even happening. If it would be always and nothing else, no, you would not even recognize it. It would just be how it is, no.
So that's the value of the duality, I guess, no?
Yeah.
Like there is some value in duality. Everyone wants the Brahma, the oneness, the completion, but the duality is also completion, no? It's like you want you want to escape that,
like you're in a shitty relationship, no? Yeah. And it's so hard most of the time. But sometimes there's a beautiful day, no?
It's so good.
And it makes you think, oh my God, life can be so beautiful.
Right. Where's one day of peace?
And then you want more of it, you know, peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us more about that you was swimming daily? You swimming in the lake or something like that? Can you tell more about it? Because so you are like trying to connect to the water element.
Because the swimming is part to reach the island.
Now that's Zen.
So actually,
I saw you swimming actually like for 5 minutes straight. Actually.
Yeah, it's a long swim because I go to this island, which is amazing, which is so to say new, because we are here in Tiruvannamalai, and we have this big lake, Samudram Lake, which was built like 1,000, maybe even 1,500 years ago.
Oh wow!
One king he let construct this big dam. It's like 2-3 kilometers long, because it's an old tradition in Tamil Nadu, because we have here this very strong rains, but very short time, no? Mm-hmm. And it more often it would just run off, no? And then for 2 months there's not a single drop, no? So in old times they developed this habit in strategically good areas. They built a dam so that this water that rains down can stagnate there and has time to perlocate into the underground and fill up the groundwater table, no? And then also then you have a water body that you can use for daily purpose. And if it's a big water body like our Samudram Lake, they have some sluices where they can release the water and then irrigate the rice fields, which are located up behind the dam. No? So in this lake, which is there since 1,500 years, the last years the sand mafia, little bit, but they're also like politicians. No? They in Tiro they have this project. They're building a big ring road around town, the bypass road, and for this they need a lot of earth because the road is elevated. No, and they sourced this earth from the lake bed. No, so they were day and night digging out the lake bed, 5 meters deep in some parts. It was possible because we had 2 years of drought and the lake didn't fill up. No? So, and now what happened after this digging, in some parts you have some big rocks and they're too big to move, so they just dig around. No? So one of these rocks that was before, it was just a rock sticking out of the natural lake bed. No? And when the lake is full at that place, the water would have been maybe 1 meter high, over the ground, and then the top of this rock would still look out. No? So now they digged around in a big area, like 100 by 100 meters, 5 meters deep. So now that the lake has filled again from the heavy rains, now it's an island, a beautiful island in the middle of the water. And when you sit there, you have all this water in front of you when you look towards the mountain, and you see the mountain reflected in the water. No? And very beautiful. And I also like this feeling that it's completely new. No? Never before, since the existence of this planet, this rock was an island like this. No? So it was just created now. So it's a very fresh island. And then when I sit there, often I make shamanistic ceremony, which needs some shamanistic beverage.
Yes.
It's also known as beer. So and then I sit there on this beautiful tropical island at the feet of Arunachala, drinking ice cold beer, and I feel like it cannot get better than this.
Yeah.
That's why you see me swimming. One time going and one time coming. Sometimes I make also a joy swim.
Yeah, I actually saw you are joy swimming. Actually.
Okay.
Because I also swimming and we both swimming. You remember this day maybe?
Was it this year or last year?
This year, yeah.
This year.
I think.
Nee, yeah.
One time.
Today I saw one dog, very, very strange. First time he came from the mountain, also this direction, in the water, and was swimming very good, very fast, and very elegant. The head was out, you could even see the tail, and quite speedy, also as faster than I can swim. And I thought maybe he want to reach the near where I am. There's this little bay, so you can swim like 5 minutes and you reach the other shore of this bay. No? But he wasn't going there. He continued. He looked like he wanted to swim the whole lake, which is like 2 kilometers, no, to the other end. No, in the end I couldn't see him anymore. He just disappeared.
Oh wow.
Very, very. I never thought before a dog so.
A swimming dog, eh?
Yeah.
That's something new.
for no reason. I thought, what could be the reason? I thought maybe, okay, if he want to go to the other side, if you go on the land, he has to pass the territories of many other dogs. No? And they have always this fighting then going on. No? And if you swim, you will don't meet any other dog. No? You have
true,
a free passage.
It was a smart dog maybe.
Yeah.
One of the smart dogs,
Yeah.
which we see in the movies.
Lassie.
Yeah.
It was so cute. The tail was like a periscope in the back. Like,
Well, lassie is something different in India, no? Lassie.
Lassie.
Some bang lassie. I see something turning in Sven's head. Something's coming.
Bang Lassie. I thought of if there's some joke somewhere about Bang Lassie.
Oh, a joke. Do we get a classic
But
Sven Baba
I
joke?
have now some little poem for the water, the swimming, like a little verse I made. Oh Arunachala, I'm just a drop of water, tossed around by the giant waves of the ocean. That is your love, oh Arunachala.
You quote this interpretation about this guy who don't have interpretation of reality, he's so not weak. What word are you using for this guy? You tell in the poetry.
The one.
He's lazy.
Yeah, for whom even the raising of one eyebrow is too much an effort.
Yeah. So why you quote in that? You quote in that. Why? What is the reason for? Because I hear you quote it many times.
Yeah.
It's like you practice this thing, or
Genau, yeah. Somehow I practice divine laziness very, very hard. I feel like I want to become the most lazy being in the whole universe. But but often I feel I should do even less.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Can you give some example? Because you seems to be like acting.
Or it's like in this telling if there would be a championship for the biggest loser ever, I would make the second place.
Second place. Who's first place?
I don't know. Well, certainly not me, because I'm a loser.
Second place loser.
Second place. I would make the second place.
You lose everything though. That's kind of like winning in life, isn't it? You lose everything.
If you lose everything, for sure, that what is remains, no? Because it cannot go anywhere, because it's always there. It don't comes and goes, no? Like they say, the definition of truth, no? In Advaita Vedanta or in Indian Ramana pointed also out, truth to be true has to be always true. It cannot be something that comes and goes. No? That would be like a relative truth, mostly, no? But the real truth has to be always there. It cannot be anything that comes and goes, appears, So that's when you lose everything or give up everything. That what is your truth is still there. And then it's easy to see because there's nothing else. No? It's like
So you lose everything and just kind of become all, right? It's like it's.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. That's how we think, oh, now I got it, or it appeared or so. But actually it was always there, no?
Right.
Just it means all the other stuff disappeared. And then this is the leftover.
And what remains.
And it's enough, it's fulfilling, no? Nothing else is needed, no? And you wonder, oh, why did I make all this effort and all this rukus, no? Before? Because this feels so much more natural and easy and, no, not so much effort involved, no? You can just relax, peace and quiet. Sooner or later, the body will drop. You even have not to force it, no? To try very hard to die. My son do, no? They try to make suicide and they not even succeed, no?
Yeah.
So there's people, no, who tried 4 or 5 times.
That's
no?
the first loser.
And they always survive, no?
That's the first loser. The guy who fails in suicide.
There was a story, this one guy in England, he really was fed up with life and he really wanted to kill himself and he don't wanted to be one of those losers who survive and then everybody's pitiful, no? So he was smart enough and determined. He said, I will kill myself and I will make sure that I really die, no? So he was English, like engineer mind, no? So he came up with the following plan that he executed. He went to one of the cliffs they have there, no? Like in Dover or whatever, like 50 meters goes down, no? So his plan was, he had a rope around his neck that he tied to a block that he hammered into the ground, very stable, so hanging. So then he doused himself with kerosene, no? Set himself on fire. Before he drank some poison, just to be sure. And he had also a gun, no? And while he was falling, he wanted to shoot in his head, no? So really to be sure, no? So, but then what actually happens is, while he was falling, he shoots the rope, no? And then he was falling into the water because it was high tide, no? And the water extinguished all the flames. And he was swallowing so much seawater that he had to vomit, and he vomited out all the poison. And then by the waves, he was washed on the shore, and he was lying there breathing heavily. And he thought, maybe today is not a good day to die. So you never know what the existence has in this.
If it's not your time, it's not your time. When it's your time, right?
And others want to live and they die through really stupid accidents, no? Just out of nothing, no? And there's still so many plans.
Yeah, that's why I have to come back.
Yeah.
Come back and try again. Different form.
Oh, there's one Zen story. One Zen monk, he went to the master, because sometimes you have this private audience, no? And you can ask some question. So he asked the master a deep question that he had since a long time, and he couldn't figure it out. So he asked, Master, what is the meaning of life?
Master.
What is life all about? And the master looks at him and says, meet me at 4 o'clock at the bank of the river. So, and he goes out and he thinks, oh, this is one of the Zen koans, no? He thinks about it all day. And at some point he started to think, but actually maybe he meant it literally. Maybe I should meet him at 4 o'clock in the night at the bank of the river. So when the night comes, he goes to the river at 4 o'clock, and really the master is standing there. He says, wow. No? So he goes to the master, and the master says, let's go into the water. So they go into the water, and he thinks, wow, that must be some initiation. No? And when they're standing in the water until here, suddenly the master takes his head and presses him underwater. No? And he underwater, he feels like, oh, that's some kind of like baptism. No? Amazing. No? How lucky am I? No? And he's there, and nothing else happens. And naturally, after some time, he runs out of air, and he wants to come up to take a breath. No? But as he is trying to come up, he feels that the master is really pressing him down. No? And he tries harder, but the master is pressing him down with all his might. No? And he tries, and he cannot come up. No? And he starts thinking, fuck, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die. And in the last moment, literally, before he would breathe in the water, the master releases him, and he shoots out of the water like a cork. And in the exact moment, before he even can take a breath, the master shouts at him, do you now understand what life is all about? And he's there like, yeah. So sometimes it's simple like that.
There's no thinking there, right? Like, you're not worrying about your fucking bills when you're drowning.
And in India also they say, if you want as much the truth or liberation, no? The getting free of this Maya, no? You want moksha, no? You want to get free. If you want it so much like a person who's underwater want to breathe, no? For sure you will get it in no time.
Right.
This one-pointed awareness. No?
It's like that whole desire of like being free, but then we continue to do things that put us in bondage, no? Like you go on, I want to be free from this, but then you wake up and you do it again. I want to be free, I want to be liberated, so we continue to do these things. Like, it's like a trap, right? Even the wanting of freedom is kind of a trap, right? Like, I want to be free and I have to seek out this freedom. And
genau, and you can also get comfortably in the state of still wanting it, but you think, oh, I made already much progress. No? You meet other people where you see, oh, they have still a long way to go. And so I always like in the season in Tiro, when you go to restaurants or cafes, and you sit somewhere, and often you overhear a conversation on the neighbor table. No? And then more often than not, there is a situation this one is teaching to the others, like giving like unwanted satsags.
yeah, that's always.
And often you can boil it down. It is like it feels like, so one is telling to the other, all is emptiness, but my emptiness is much more empty than your emptiness. But no problem. I can show you how to really emptying your emptiness, because I'm very experienced. And I'm very empty. Genau.
Unwanted satsangs.
Unwanted satsags, genau.
Oh, that's my favorite thing about the satsang guys. It's like, oh, you know, I don't have to do this. I don't want to do this, and you don't need to come here, and you shouldn't come here, and yet it's still happening, right? Like,
and sometimes it's so cute also. I remember one guy, he said also this restaurant satsang. He was talking to a group of ladies, no? And he said, actually, you can tell the people, stop, but they will not stop. They will not stop.
Wow. That's profound. Yeah. Cappuccino satsangs, coffee satsangs happen here.
Yeah, just thinking about it, such an emptiness. Somebody teach emptiness, right? And you was singing in the beginning this mantras. So it looked like you go to theater or to concert. So it feels like it's just some form of beautiful action which we are enjoying. But what happened in satsang that these guys who doing that, they are claiming that it's something bigger than just I don't want to use the word entertainment. Why don't use it? It's just beautiful. It's just peaceful. It's just nice way to spend time together, to live. Yeah, I'm like totally against this kind of I show you the way and kind of you need to do it. This kind of stuff.
It's kind of counterproductive, isn't it, to have someone tell you who you are when you're trying to find yourself, right? I want to know who I am, right? Now, please, someone tell me. Right? You're going to be very fucking confused because that guy is going to say, oh, you're emptiness. That guy's going to say, oh, you're the light. This guy's going to say, you're Brahma, you're the ultimate truth, you're a supreme being. So now you are all of these things and still you are not yourself. Right?
That reminds me, I met a guy, he went to really ayahuasca because he really had these profound questions and he felt like he went before to satsang, so nowhere he got a satisfying answer, no? So he thought, let's try the natural way. I make ayahuasca and then you do this shamanistic journey, you meet the spirit, no? I will ask the spirit, no? He will do any better. He will do better than any physical human teacher, no? So he went to South America to an authentic place, no? He made a ceremony. And it was over many days, no? And every day, no, you make this journey and you can ask a question to the spirit that comes, no? Yeah. So he was so excited. So the first day, so he is full tripping, and then the spirit comes, no? And so he feels now it's time to ask my question. And he asked, "Who am I?" And the spirit looks at him and answers, "Who do you want to be?" And he says, wow, this is so profound, no? So, and he was busy with this all day. So then the next evening came, the next ceremony, no? And he's again full tripping, he waits for the spirit, no? And he was prepared, he had a good question this time, no? So he asked, what is my purpose in this life? And the spirit looks at him and says, what purpose would you like to have? And he's like, wow, this is amazing. I never thought about it like this, no? So then the third night comes. And he had this question, what is the meaning of life? And the spirit said, what meaning would you like to have? And by then he figured out, okay. I know how it goes, no?
Yeah.
So like it's up to you, right?
He felt like this is a humorful, tricky spirit. I could have come up with it myself, no? So that he understood the principle, no?
I think this dog is trying to ask himself who he is. There's some dog inquiring. Who am I? Well, that's what they say that this whole guru thing or this whole satsang thing is when they just tell you that like you are that. They say they're just like, you know, missing a whole process of like the individual being kind of going through like a purification or like some sort of something for yourself, you know, and then you'll get to that point anyway. But they say it's like I don't know, it's kind of, I think it's just fucking with people's heads, to be honest, because maybe they have no personal self-reflection, or they have, you know, and someone just goes and tells them like, you are that, you are the supreme, you are realized, everything's perfect. And sure, that's true, but how do you know, if the person can't believe it, if they can't accept it, if they have too many things running, you know, then isn't it useless? Like, I feel this is a trap. Like
even the guys, the masters who tell it like this, and that it's so easy, you are that always, no?
Of course.
Even they had a long life before that, no?
Yeah.
And often it is forgotten because they don't speak so much about the life before, what they all have experienced and practiced, and because they know it feels like it's so irrelevant, no? When you notice you was always that, no? But to come to this point, to realize it takes often a whole life, no? And other people, they're still in this life, no? They still have this to do. And then maybe they think, oh, I want to be clever and take a shortcut, and maybe it helps, maybe it messes it up more than before. One friend of mine who was a long time here, but he never went to satsang. Because when people ask him, you're already so many years living here, why you never go to satsang? And he said, I feel somehow stupid if I sit there and somebody is telling me for 2 hours, chicken is a bird, chicken is a bird, chicken is a bird, chicken is a bird. I mean, I hear it one time and I understand chicken is a bird, okay, no? I don't have to hear it for 2 hours and then every day again, no?
Yeah.
One time is enough.
Right. Right.
But some people love it. Some people love
It's
it.
like I think it's an addiction. I think the healing and seeking, I feel like it's just replacing all the addictions and conditions with new ones. Like, you know, if you're trying to heal from something, what are we trying to heal from? This idea that somehow your life was fucked up along the way, you know, and now you have to become something better than what you are, you know, like this. I have to get over my conditioning. Like,
Yeah, I heard about it.
okay, yeah, there's conditions, there's conditioning. But if you want to be yourself and be who you are, isn't the condition like a part of that? Isn't you know, why do you want to get rid of that?
Famous one is,
why do you want to get rid of that?
You have a blockage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I have to take a shit. Yeah, you can see that, wow. Yeah, yeah.
Especially as a male, if you meet a woman and she has a blockage, of course, out of compassion, you immediately offer, I can help to deblock, no problem. It's my duty.
Yeah, we have to raise that kundalini. Yeah.
We have to flush the pipes.
Yeah. Surrender. Just surrender.
Genau.
And then you will know the truth. These babas.
I don't know, it feels so nice just to talk with you.
Yeah. We need a classic joke, no? I think we need a classic Sven Baba joke.
Well, one about that sometimes reality is hard to comprehend. A woman has ordered a new cupboard. I think it's the name, the cupboard. It's a big kind of furniture where you put your clothes in. No?
Yeah, like a wardrobe.
Buy a wardrobe, a new wardrobe. from a carpenter, no? Made from natural wood, very nice. No? So the carpenter comes and assembles the piece in the bedroom, no? Very beautiful. So, but already next day, he gets a call from the lady, and she says, you have to come, something is wrong with the wardrobe. And the carpenter says, what's wrong with the wardrobe? And the lady says, whenever a bus passes in front of the house, the door of the wardrobe opens. And it's a big hustle, because there are many buses passing. No? She lives on this major road. No? I always have to go and close the door, and you have to come. And he says, don't trouble me with this shit. This wardrobe is fine. He said, no, I paid much money. You have to come and redeem the situation. And then he feels like, okay, he has a reputation to lose. No? So, okay, what can he do? So he goes to the woman. So now they're both standing in front of the wardrobe. And one bus is passing in front of the house. And the door of the wardrobe is opening. No? And the carpenter looks and says, this is quite something. So he goes, closes the door. The next bus is coming. The door opens again. And the carpenter says, I tell you what, I never have seen something like this before. I will go into the wardrobe and see what actually is happening when the bus is passing. So he goes into the wardrobe, closes the door, and just in this moment, just by incident, the husband comes home early from work, no? And he looks all over the house. Where's the wife? Finally, he finds her in the bedroom. And he looks at her and says, what are you doing during this time of the day in the bedroom? And he goes straight to the wardrobe, opens the door, and there's this guy standing, the carpenter, no? And he looks at the guy and he shouts at him, what are you doing in this wardrobe? And the carpenter looks at him and says, if I'm telling you that I'm waiting for the bus, will you believe me? Sometimes the truth is hard to believe. No?
Yeah.
You will not even
that
come.
seems to be the whole kick. The truth is hard to believe. The truth. We all want the truth. What's the truth? What's the truth, Shambhu?
If everybody believes the truth, it will be different tomorrow, you know?
What is the truth?
They have in this documentary video about Papaji, in the beginning, their reporter, he asked Papaji, if you should tell your teaching, your message in a few words, in a few sentences, what would they be? Papaji looks at him and says, no teacher, no teaching, no student. And the guy is like, okay, and so for what are we here today? And he looks at him and says, to find out who you are. And he goes, he swallows and goes, okay.
Ultimate truth. It just seems to be just a big mind game, no? Just entertainment. At the end of the day, I feel like all this is somehow entertainment that we don't know, right? That, it's like an intentional ignorance of some sort, you know? And that's why I see like trying to escape like this, escape the body, escape the life, transcend this, transcend that. You know, like sometimes I feel like if there is this divine intelligence, this creative force, like I feel like its favorite thing to do is to be some fucked up human being.
No,
you know, it's its favorite. I think this is its favorite thing to do. Is to be people, is to be these egos, or all these things that we want to not be. I feel that's exactly the point. Like,
I like this attitude of the Bruce Brothers in the movie. One of the guys of the band, he says to the other guy, "If the shit fits, wear it."
Yeah.
You know.
And you think like people ask or want to know who they are because they can't accept already what they are?
Or
you know, maybe there's something that happens in life that you can't accept or you see things about yourself that you can't accept. So then you say like, okay, now I need to go find out who I am, because surely this shit can't be me. So now I have to go on this journey to find out who the real one is, right? But you're still there. Like it's
and
like
others they accept the situation. I heard there's one guy, he's so tamasic, but somehow he's happy with his life.
Yeah.
So he often says, I know my life is shit, but it's warm and it's me. And then often a little bit more dramatic is sometimes in your life you meet persons that you see they're really in a difficult, hard, not so nice situation. And instead of coming out of it, they try to pull you into their mess, no? Because they feel also lonely. It's like they're sitting in a pool of shit, no? And somehow they've arranged with this because it's warm and it's them, no? But also they feel lonely because they're all alone there, no? So if they meet somebody passing by, they try to drag them in, no? But actually nobody really likes to sit in the shit, especially if it's the shit of somebody else, no? Maybe with your own shit. Yeah. If you smell your own fart under the blanket, it's something different as if somebody else farts under your blanket.
Yeah, that's why people create family, you know?
Yeah, families.
But so all of this spiritual thing which you're talking about, this spiritual thing, what is it? Why it's all happening? Is this crazy? Maybe all of this happening because we forget to live as a tribe. We get so separate. Everybody in separate houses. We don't go in hunting together. We're not going around the bonfires like Indian Americans did.
Right.
All of this kind of we don't do this kind of rituals. Now people go to temples, and they just stay there and they don't even touch hands. They don't have any kind of interaction. And they need it. Right. That's why they build the families where they can touch, where they can like do everything with their kids, touch them and have all this tactile, which they so miss because they don't have it in social. And people who cannot have family, of course, they're like, okay, I need to find some touch. Maybe God will touch me, or maybe my inner self. I feel like it's really so that simple.
Connection.
No lack of connection in the modern society. What do you think, Sven?
It is many people see it like this, that when now this materialistic lifestyle is now on the downhill slope, no? Collaborating and will be wiped out, and that after that humanity comes back to this authentic ancient lifestyle. Again, small communities, close to nature, no? You know each other, and you do what you like to do and do best. No? By nature, it's such a widespread variety of talents. No? One can do this, one can do that. Yeah. So everybody does what he likes to do, so it not even feels like you're working. You just do what you want, and you do it in your own time. No? And by nature, somehow there's some rhythm. You like to do something maybe for 4 hours, then you take a break, and then maybe another few hours, but very naturally, no? And then through the community is one does this, one does that, no? Like it was in the old times, no? Yeah. Before it also then got too rigid, no? That they say, okay, the son has to learn what the father does, maybe not want, no? Nearly more free, like it really was in the really beginning, and then especially close to nature, so that you know what you do, that you have seen
it's
the
really
food,
necessary.
Yeah, that you've seen the vegetables, how it grows, no? And how you take care, you give water and it can absorb the sun, and when you eat it you really feel thankful, and it's full of prana, full of energy, no? Yeah. And then you are naturally fulfilled, no? You don't need then special food, for example. Nowadays people can be so picky, no? No gluten.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I think it's very easy, or also for everybody to understand that this is actually the way to live.
Yeah.
No?
And then I feel if we get back to that state, like, I don't think anyone needs to know who they are. You know, because you'll just be what you are.
You are already.
And you are right, and you'll just do what naturally comes in that. If that tribal kind of family unit, they say like, all we actually need is 100 people. Like, we can organize ourselves with 100 people, communities or tribes throughout the world, you know, and repopulate nature. Because in that 100 people, you'll get everybody. You'll get a doctor, you'll get an artist, you'll get everything. shoemaker, all the shit will just be there naturally, you know? And it's just that 100 people is enough. Like, and that's the whole trap, right? Because they put like 1 million people in a city, in this like closed off place, and make you believe that there's a lack of resources, that there's a lack of money, there's a lack of water, there's a lack of this. But it's manufactured that way.
Yeah. And
Of course, if you put 1 million people in a fucking small room, they're gonna all have to fight for the little bit of food or water that's available.
yeah.
Of course, it's a trap, you know? It's, but I think this is gonna happen naturally, like, where, you know, all the vaccinated fucking AI, you know, they're gonna go down the techno black hole matrix, get absorbed in some metaverse bullshit, and then maybe the other half of society will go back into nature and repopulate in a natural way. You know, like they say, the meek shall inherit the earth, and I feel that's what's happening right now.
Also for sure, this Earth, the future of this, what we see now as Earth, is this natural lifestyle, no? And the others, they will go somewhere else. Also like how you want to call it, incarnate somewhere else.
Yeah.
No, because there is
you know, all the
so much places to live in this universe.
All the people that want to go into the metaverse and all these whatever, I'm happy for it.
Oh, that brings me now.
Go into the metaverse, Nick. You know, like.
Yeah, that brings me up to one little story I made up to explain. One day I was thinking about a little bit. Said, why is our beautiful planet Earth in such a pitiful condition? Because of the actions of human beings mostly, no?
Yeah.
Because if you think of it for a moment, the Earth, without the influence of humans, it would be like the perfect paradise. Yeah. Fresh water, clean air, beautiful plants, cute animals, everything woven together in harmony, no? Supporting each other, of course also feeding off each other, but somehow it's natural, it's not. And it would be like Garden Eden, like paradise, no?
Yeah.
So you have this perfect paradise, this Garden Eden, and now you take a bunch of retards, put them in there, and allow them to do whatever they want. And then you look the result, no? So and there's a meaning to this, because this universe is very, very big, and it's teeming with life forms, no? And most of the life forms, they're so much more evolved than us humans, no? And whenever one of these high evolved life forms makes the final step and understands, I am that, I have infinite power, I have infinite creative potential, I can do whatever I want, then some of the more senior beings come and approach him and say, congratulations, you have understood very well. Indeed, you are all this. But before you start to act, please go to Earth and have a look. And then when these high beings, when they come to Earth, they might incarnate or they come visiting or in which way ever, and they look around, they cannot believe what they see, no? Because if you think about it, it's unbelievable. How can somebody do something like this to a beautiful place like this? It's incomprehensible. And they start to think, maybe it's good to follow some rules and not start acting like this, no? And the foremost rule in the universe is non-injury towards yourself and others. All the other rules are just modifications, specifications of this one rule, no? One rule, no? No injury, non-injury towards yourself and others. If you have this in your heart and in your mind and in your feeling, no? Life or this planet in no time will be Garden Eden again.
Yeah. That sounds fucking awesome if we could do that.
It's so easily, non-injury is so easily, because you don't have to do anything. If you just keep quiet, it happens naturally, non-injury.
Yeah, even if we stop,
But then there's
Non-
that
non-
desire.
non-
The desire is the self-injury, right? When the second you see things, you want things, you want to enjoy things, this and that, and then
But you could also say, stop being a human becoming and become a human being.
yeah.
Because normally people, they are like becomings, no? They want to become something. First I have to make this career, and then I have a house, and blah, 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 and then at some point, da, 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 da. So they are in a state of becoming, no? Reaching somewhere, no? But our normal state is to be already, no? And then out of joy, you do what comes, no? What presents itself, no? And not even feels
it's
like
not a
doing.
different life.
Yeah, it's not even doing, it's natural.
It's like, I remember myself like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it's totally different state of flow. Yeah. So many needs, so many, like, it's like urge.
Yeah.
I need it, I need it.
Ambition. I'm gonna save the fucking world. You think some Messiah or something's gonna come? Some aliens, some prophet, some savior in these times today? It's like pretty fucking doomsday out there. What do you think is next on this whole world, world stage? Some alien invasion? Some
they say this will be this fake alien invasion.
Fake alien. Well, first we have to get through the monkeypox.
Yeah, to divert the attention. To divert the attention one more time from the really important things, no? Like just to keep the wheel spinning, no? Because if people become quiet for some moment, all this ruckus disappears, no? If you become for one moment quiet, you understand what is all false on this propaganda, no? That is just hot air, no? It's not true.
Right.
But as long you're in it, you're spun by it, no? And you looking maybe to of ways how can I come out of this wheel, no? But you remain in the wheel, no? Because the way out of the wheel is just another way inside the wheel, no? But if you really jump out, it means you become quiet and you stand next to the wheel and see it spinning and you think, fuck, it must feel awful to be spun around like that, no? So much nicer just to stand and look in the sky, and hear the birds.
It's fucking simple.
It's like, and then like on the merry-go-round, no? On the amusement park, no?
Yeah.
And they are sitting on the little vehicle, no? And they think really they're driving, no? Now I go right, no?
Yeah.
I have to brake and stuff, no? Yeah, it will all wheel off in its own time, no? That's why they say in these alternative sites, no? The follow the plan, just relax, eat popcorn or whatever. They just should say it's already taken care of, no? You don't have to interfere in this great scheme, but you can do something for yourself to become more quiet and have trust in yourself, especially that you are already what you are, no? And no matter what happens, if you die tomorrow or in 50 years, no? What difference does it make? It only makes a difference if you have too much unfinished business moving around in your mind, no? When you think, oh, I still have to do this and this and this, and then I can die, no? But that is part of this wheel, no? That you have to jump out, no? If you're ready to die, any moment, what problem could you possibly have, no? Only a little bit like for me, I always feel like when I wake up in the morning, I say, today is a good day to die, but yesterday was even better. That is one of the last problems you can have. No? Why not yesterday? But it's also beautiful. One more day, no?
Yeah. This place, what is it? Bhutan. Bhutan, they say, is one of the happiest places in the world. Like the people there are so very happy. And they say the reason is because part of their culture is in the mornings they have to meditate at least 5 to 10 minutes upon death. So the reason why they're so happy is because every single morning they acknowledge death. You know, so if you wake up and you just go straight to that, then the rest of your day is pretty good.
Yeah,
No?
it's funny. I was just thinking about, because I just some days ago I read this that they said statistically they make, like you said, the most happiest country. Said the most happiest country is Iceland actually,
Oh yeah.
and in the same time Iceland has the highest per head consumption of Coca-Cola on the whole planet.
Huh.
Maybe this is his corresponds.
No,
Meditating on that. The black water of
It's
the
too bad they don't have.
materialistic.
Too bad they
people.
took the coke out of it, right?
It's funny that in India they make this replica of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. And like,
And love B. It's very sweet and a little bit cherry taste. It's amazing.
but it's
Coca-Cola.
it's not like as expensive. But the thumbs up is really kind of the same
Yeah.
price, but the taste is just, and the idea.
Yeah.
You know, there's this thumbs up, the blue package.
I watched some video of a guy. He cooked some Coca-Cola, like he boiled it down,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's like
and
a
then-
fucking black, like a
Yeah,
sludge,
yeah.
like tar.
It's actually become what it's like originally. Yeah,
Ooh.
I think
Man,
extract.
yeah.
There's extract.
And then like they show all the other uses of it. Like people use it to like clean toilets. Like it's so. What is that? What's
Because
that
I
word?
think it's a phosphoric acid.
Caustic,
Yeah.
caustic or something. It's like so vicious. It can take rust off of
Or even
pipes and
if
shit
you
like
put
that.
a piece of meat in it, next morning it's gone. No? It just dissolves.
Yes, they put piece of meat in it and left it for a week, and like meat dissolved or something like that. So
It's
disintegrate.
a black hole. It's like a.
But that even I heard in the medieval, or not so far, maybe it's still in the beginning of 1900 in England, they had in the area where they have the cider production, no? And it's part of the culture to drink a lot of cider.
Huh.
And one village, they were famous for the cider tasted so good, no? And the people were going there because they liked the cider so much. And it came out, they put always the head of some people in the barrel, and it dissolves, no? At least the brain and so, no? And it gives this nice taste, no? The other villages were using goat heads, no? And the cider was also already good, no? But this one village was even better, no? And one day somebody wanted to know, and then they saw, they have a human head, not goat head, no?
Oh
It
my
was
god.
even much better.
It's like a cannibalism.
Fermented brains.
That's like that.
Fermented brain.
Brains.
Wow,
Wonder if they
you're going
got
too
some.
far.
If they got some sickness from this. You know, like these.
I had a Kulu.
Kulu,
yeah.
They
Yeah.
say that like
First somebody has it, Hillary Clinton, she got Kulu.
Clinton and
Kulu,
and
yeah.
Merkel.
Yeah, yeah.
Merkel, what's her name? The German.
Merkel.
Yeah.
Merkel also,
They
because she was
showed-
shaking.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
little fucking
Yeah.
kids. Sorry. Pedovores.
Actually, it's nice, you know. I mean, like,
What is that?
but like in the world of politics, if you do something like that, if something happened like this with you, people will say, "Oh." Some people make jokes about it, but many people they feel like, "Oh, it happened to me also." You know, the death is.
You say the world is run by a satanic fucking.
Yeah. Even normal in America, there was a case of in a rundown neighborhood, no? People started to disappear, no? And so the FBI started investigating, and in the end, they find the culprit. They came out. There was one guy. He killed like 25 of his neighbors, and he also eats them, no? Because in his freezer they found many body parts, no? So then came the court case, and the judge asked him, why did you do this? And he said, just people, they were just disturbing me. They were loud and unfriendly, no? So there was not life with them, no? So I had to get rid of them. And I'm on the social benefits, no? I cannot afford to go to the supermarket and buy meat, no? But I like barbecue. So I combined the necessary with the nice, no? And I eat them, no? Why not? For him it was completely normal, no? Get rid of the bastards and have a nice barbecue also.
Everybody, I think everybody has these guys.
Everybody
In
has
Russia, we have these guys, but in India, they have more of these guys, but they don't tell you, man.
Mm.
They don't tell you where are these guys.
Like the
It's like
Gori
conspiracy.
Babas.
No, just like
Just cannibals.
I think in India there are a lot of this kind of crazy dudes, but you cannot find the
Yeah, I don't think they're going on social media with that. No.
absolutely.
Just saw
Because people gonna freaked out like, oh my god, there's so many people. Yeah.
somebody made a movie. It came in the kinos, in the cinemas like a half year ago. American movie, Fresh is the title, about this topic nowadays. This market for human meat. Very bizarrely nicely made. It's like to raise public awareness for this topic, no? It's coming here now up all on the surface, no? And they say that our whole history, what we learn in school, is fake anyway, no? That, for example, in the medieval age, it seems cannibalism was completely normal. That's why they have under the churches, no? In the catacombs, like in Rome, and so they have all these bones and skulls, no? From millions and millions of people, no? And somehow at some point they calculated what happened to all the meat of the corpses, no? And it seems really to be like this. It was used, it was eaten, no? And the bones they put there to have also like a burial, no? So they used the usable stuff, and the rest they put as a ceremony burial in the catacombs, no? So it seems to have been very, very normal, no? Of course, nobody told us, no? Until now.
Wow.
For us, it's more like shocking, no?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
But I am happy with vegetarianism. I never have craving. Even I can eat chicken also, but I don't have to. I don't feel I need. I know people who say if I don't eat meat, then I feel not nourished. No, I need this heavy protein and so on. No?
Yeah.
So of course every organism metabolism is different. No, but it's totally possible to live without meat. No.
Or you could become a breatharian. That's the new age, that's like the new high thing to do in the spiritual community. Become
Have you ever fasted?
breatharian.
Have you ever fasted?
Yeah, I make beer fasting.
Yeah.
I would try to, instead of breastarian, I become a beertarian.
Beertarian.
Yeah.
Like
Like the old
you mean
monks
you
in
drink
in
only
medieval
beer?
age.
You don't eat anything?
Nee, sometimes for 2-3 days I only drink beer and I feel so. Not here in India, but before.
But
no, when I was young.
How
when
much
you're
beer you drink?
when you're on party, no. Because it's like in Germany we say it's like liquid bread, no.
Yeah.
But how much do you drink? Like 3
In the
bottles a
old
day?
times,
4 bottles.
when I go out in the old times, I drank maybe. The German bottles are not so big; they have 0.33 milliliter, and then I can drink like 8 or 10, no. It's not so much, but 10 is just 3.3 liters, no?
Yeah.
It's like nothing.
3 liters, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, also, if you drink every day, then you don't get the kick anymore. So you have to make breaks in between. Otherwise, it becomes natural, and then nothing special is happening anymore, no?
Right.
And also, like I said, every metabolism is different, no? Some they get just dull, no? Others get maybe aggressive. Others get very happy. Like me, I go like in ecstasy, but not that I have to be very outwardly. I can also sit. That I like more to sit in ecstasy and feel one with everything, no? And just waves of ecstasy running up and down your spine. No? Might also depend on your star sign. I once read in a shamanistic thing like the different star signs, which kind of herbs are good for it. No? In Arius, I'm Arius, was a hop. Hops is this that makes the beer bitter. This plant, hop, we call it hopfen, hop. I think English hop.
Hops, yeah.
Hops, no? And this is very good for Arius, no?
Ah, really?
Yeah,
I'm
so
an
they
Aries.
wrote hops and then in bracelets, beer, 3 exclamation marks.
Oh shit! I'm not drinking enough beer. I'm also an Aries.
You see?
You see that's
for
something
Aries,
that's
beer.
something I used to do. I drank a lot of beer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was. Now that I think about it, probably a lot happier than I am now when I'm not drinking as much beer. But I told myself, oh, I have some problem with alcohol. I shouldn't be doing this. But then I think I was pretty fucking happy. I was friendly. I wasn't judging anybody. And then I got all pure and no drinking, no nothing, and spiritual. And I became like a judgmental, egoic asshole. It's like, you know,
You only have an
you need to start drinking again.
you only have an alcohol
So pure.
problem when your fridge is empty.
Yeah.
And there's not a single beer in the fridge. I always say I don't have alcohol problem. My fridge is always full.
I used to go to this bar that in Brooklyn that said, what was it? I like to drink whiskey and I like to sing, but my friends mostly like to listen to me drink whiskey. Yeah, hops. I need more hops. Now I want to have a drink.
It's just a silence here. Do you feel the silence here?
Yeah. It's just there, no? The silence. It's just
And
there.
also the white noise of the air condition.
Yeah. It's like a whispering om.
Oh, for the maybe to coming to an end, we can make some sound. I did this nice. Somebody called it the original ohm. Maybe how it was meant in the old times. It's a whole circle of the overtones. So you come to it. You start with. You go through the vocals. U, O, A, E, I is the highest. No? So that's half of the round. U is the lowest. No? Also U, O, A, E, I. So you're on the highest, and then from I you come back to the U by doing Ü. No? From I you come back to U. No? Also I can once demonstrate it.